Incredicoaster is a launched roller coaster made by Intamin. It was built in 2001 and opened as California Screamin'. In 2018, the theme was changed to fit in with the new Incredibles 2 movie, which came out that same year. Incredicoaster is a thrilling roller coaster, and it is home to the only inversion in the Disneyland resort, a loop. Along with that, there are other fun turns, and it is the 8th longest steel roller coaster in the world. This is my review on Incredicoaster. There are many different variables. Just for note, I have 22 coaster credits. First off, thrill level. How thrilling is the roller coaster? 2. The theming. Is the theming really that good? 3. Is it actually worth the wait? Am I getting the time that I waited worth of this roller coaster? Operations. How fast or slow are the operations? And finally, comfort. How comfortable are the restraints? Are they comfortable or are they not? And lastly, the overall score, which will be my final ranking, and it will also show the ranking that I have on my credit list. Overall, the thrill level is not that amazing. There's a launch at the start. Oh, by the way, here's the loop. Which, speaking of that, there's a launch and then there's an inversion. But other than that, the ride is mostly kind of like a slightly more overbanked version of Jaguar, because these turns... What is this? What is this? Honestly. There isn't that much, like, other than a helix, like, the turns aren't that amazing. So I think overall I'll have to give the thrill level a good old 7.5 out of 10. And the reason why I choose 7.5 out of 10 is because overall the turns, like, some of the turns can actually be pretty fun, but overall, what do the turns have? Like, other than the few drops, the launch, and the inversion, there's just not much else going for it. I guess there are bunny hills. And the helix at the end, actually, I appreciate that a lot. But at the end of the day, it's not that thrilling. It's just, like, it's almost as if they tried to have some sort of goal with having a certain amount of track. So they tried adding that, like, look, although it didn't exactly work out very well, so I think that's kind of what happened. Thrill level, 7.5 out of 10. Let's see if the rest of the level will make up in the theming, the wait times, operations, and comfort. Overall, the theming is not very great. I mean, over here, as you could tell, there are small parts of theming, but there are no moving animatronics. All of the animatronics are still, and that's just kind of really sad. I also have to mention how there are literal babies on sticks, which is quite depressing, but on the bunny hills there are babies on sticks on top of roofs, which are completely shown. And you might be thinking, yeah, that's whatever. I mean, every single amusement park. Did you say amusement park? This is Disney. I would expect a lot better from Disney in terms of theming, but this theming is just terrible. There is nothing going for it. And I guess the big old statues at the start and end of the ride are pretty cool. I have to say, though, the theming is pretty terrible. Like, seriously, the theming feels like they were on a budget and they tried to make something work, and it's not great. Overall, I have to give the theming a 4 out of 10. I mean, if it was not Disney, I probably would have let them get away with a good old 7 out of 10. But honestly, it's Disney. I expect higher value, and they just didn't give the higher value that I would expect from Disney. So I'm going to have to stick with a 4 out of 10. I feel like they could do so much more with the roller coaster, but they decided not to. And also, they were going to add a tunnel at the helix, and they ended up cheaping out and not doing it. So overall, I think 4 out of 10 is very fair. If they had the last tunnel, I probably would have given it a 5, or maybe even a 5.5 out of 10, but they just cheaped out, and I'm honestly not giving it to them. So, wait times. Wait times, wait times, wait times. Back then, I would have probably given the wait times an 8 out of 10 because, honestly, you had the free fast passes, and even without the free fast passes, the lines were still technically bearable. I mean, I would wait an hour, but not amazing, but it's possible to wait an hour. Although, one thing I do have a problem with is that now the fast passes are no longer free. More babies on sticks. But anyways, as I was saying, the fast pass is no longer free, and that causes a huge issue. And the queue line is honestly pretty ugly and cheap. So I'm gonna have to give this 6.5 out of 10. And I think this is fair because if I put it at 7 out of 10, I feel like that would be a little bit too much, because 7 out of 10 for a ride that lasts an hour, that takes an hour-long line, I feel like it's just not great. But 6 out of 10 also feels a little bit, like, unreasonable, considering at the start of the day, it's like freaking 15 minutes. And it's like, hello, the park opened an hour ago. How is it still 15 minutes? So I feel like if you go early in the day, you can actually, I would say if you go in the first hour of the day, I could put this at a 9 out of 10. But honestly, we're going throughout the entire day. I'm going to have to give it a 6.5 out of 10. Trust me, when you think of rides, you're probably going to have to think of operations. And operations are very important to any major roller coaster. So, for this video, we are, of course, doing the unthinkable. Yeah, of course. You already knew what we were doing. We're going to check the operations. Operations are actually pretty good. You don't have to get past the station, put your backpacks in cubbies, and then go. You bring the backpacks with you. Although with the restraints and with the fact that it's a Disney park, I feel like with some smaller kids, I knew I was one of those that would ride this ride, we would have trouble with the restraints. Although, ignoring that fact, they have a dual loading station, which works very magnificently, and I've only broken down once on the launch, and they were able to get going within 5 minutes. And this, honestly, the operations are pretty amazing. It's almost perfect. So, I'm gonna give it a, overall, I'm gonna have to give the comfort a 7 out of 10. It's honestly not anything that I really mind all that much. I just think that there are better restraints. I also have to mention that it is 5th place out of my 22 roller coaster credits. It has beaten out Revenge of the Mummy, although it cannot seem to beat the beautiful, delightful Hang Time. I'm sorry, but Hang Time is better. I just do think that there is a little bit of rattle on the ride, but with Incredicoaster, honestly, nothing. With the thrill and everything, I just don't think that Incredicoaster can top roller coasters like Hang Time, Silver Bullet, Ghost Rider, and Accelerator.